Good friggin' morning from New England, folks, and welcome back to episode 32 of the So New England podcast. I am your host, Ian Brownhill, joined by my co-host, Robert Travisano, all things Life's Better in New England, So New England podcast producer, Vinny G, behind the camera. And as always, folks, we have got an awesome guest for you today. So without further ado, RJ,
okay,
please give us the introduction for today's guest.
Episode 32. I am so excited to get to know our guest today because as I did my research for this intro, all I could do was smile and laugh. Not only is she a wonderful person, but she's from the greatest little state in the Union, Lil Rhody. Nobody makes Momin look this good. I even questioned, am I even on Momtok? The style that is shown in her videos is top notch. The fashion fits is like I'm looking through a magazine. The pure entertainment that comes from it is truly something. I mean, I guess that's the perk of being the head of your own entertainment company. Yeah, that's right, folks. Bo & Co. Entertainment, founder, CEO, COO, all the O's, and one woman show is here live in studio with the boys. We'll deem this episode the greatest Showwoman, because if you know, you know. And as always, if you don't believe me, you'd be arguing with about 240,000 people on Instagram. Whether she is making a delicious drink for one of her 3 milkaholics, leaning back into her old roots and jamming out to the Wiggles, or just making daily chores romantical, our guest today is guaranteed to make you smile. All the way from North Kingstown, join me in welcoming Master of Bathtime, Miss Emily Scott James.
That was the best introduction. The Master of Bathtime.
You like that?
I loved it. First of all, thank you.
You're very welcome.
That was amazing.
Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining us on the So New England podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
We're wicked pumped that you're here. Even more pumped that you got a Boston Bruins hat on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love this.
I
This
told
is
you
a
I
whole
had
401
a
gang
Patriots hat in my coat pocket just in case I needed to switch it up. Give some love to both teams.
Maybe
I love that.
Yeah.
So fun fact, my wife actually sent me your TikTok and said, she is from Rhode Island. You need to reach out. And I said, there's no way she's from Rhode Island. Then she showed me the bath time videos. And I'm like, that is a Cranston salon.
Absolutely. I
love
just
it.
did another one today.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Don't go to Linda at the corner cut. Don't do it.
Well, there is nothing short of amazing when it comes to getting to know you. As RJ mentioned, I did dive into your Instagram, kind of took a look around everything you got going on. So I'm not even sure where to start with this. So I'm just going to allow you to kind of give an introduction into who you are, your journey and your story that has led you to becoming this very popular, very fast growing. I mean, we figured out, folks, that we are the same age. So yep. I prefer the term content creator just because I feel like influencer makes it feel like I don't have a job. Creator,
yeah, I like it.
You know,
stick with it.
So tell us, what is there to know about you? How did you get here?
Oh man, I don't know. Where do I begin? First of all, I'm a mom to 3 kids under 3. Bo, who's 2.5, Lucy and Quinn, 5-month-old twin girls who are just the cutest things ever. I still can't believe I have 3 kids. It's kind of wild to say. Where do I even begin with this? As you said, this content creation really started probably about 6-7 months ago, and things started to really shift. I went to college in North Carolina, went to Wake Forest, go Deeks. I majored in marketing. I was about to take a job selling health insurance. Okay, very different. I was going to move to Seattle. I was going to sell health insurance, and I said, I can't do that. We can't do that. So I ended up auditioning for the show So You Think You Can Dance my senior year of college, which was a dream of mine. I grew up watching it with my mom every Wednesday together. I was a dancer my entire life. Senior year, I said, screw it. I'm not ready to go into this corporate life. I'm going to go live a dream for a little bit. And I had actually auditioned for the show 3 times, and 3rd time was a charm because I ended up making it. Graduated and moved to California, moved to LA to film the show. I was on season 11. And really from there, things kind of shifted for about 3 years. I think I was living in LA, filming the show. We went on tour, the top 10. I was the top 14, so they took 4 alternates on tour with the top 10.
Okay.
And we did a national tour. We did, I think it was 72 cities across the U.S. and Canada. So I lived on a tour. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was the craziest experience. It was so much fun. We lived on a tour bus, 1 bathroom.
Ooh.
Okay. For 5 months.
Oof.
72 cities. And then
all 14 of you?
All 14 of us.
On one bus?
I think each bus fit 12, 10 or 12. So then a couple of the castmates were on the stagehands and cruise bus. So it was 2 buses, and we just 1 bathroom, no shower. We would shower at all the venues that we would pull up to. I think like every 2 or 3 days we would get a day off, and so we would stay in a hotel, which was a treat. But it was a really cool experience.
That's cool.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I did not know that. This is great. I feel like I'm going to learn so much.
Yeah. So that's probably where the initial Instagram following happened, was through the dance world and through the So You Think You Can Dance fans, which was so cool. But that was 10 years ago now. So Instagram was like just becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Reels were not a thing.
Reels were not a thing.
Just
pictures. A lot of bad filters on the pictures. I don't know what.
XX Pro, Valencia.
Lo-fi. That was my favorite.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so Instagram wasn't really a thing then. So I took probably about 2 years to pursue a dance career. And I say pursue in air quotes if you're listening and not viewing, because I think deep down I always knew dancing wasn't going to be my forever career. I'll never forget, someone told me I always had a backup plan. And, leaning on my marketing degree, I always had a backup plan. I was always doing random side gigs. I was writing blog posts for like a mom blog at the time. I was 22. Like I didn't know what I was talking about. And I was writing the most. I was doing internships at advertising agencies, just because I always knew that it wasn't going to be forever. I always wanted a backup plan. I'll never forget, someone told me you're never going to make it if you have a backup plan. You're never going to make it if you have a safety net to fall back into. And they were so right. And you know what? That's okay. Dance, I started to I lost my love of it and my joy of it when it became my sole source of income. And I wasn't enjoying it anymore. So I ended up taking a little bit of time to self-reflect and figure out, what the heck do I want to do? Where do I want to go from here? I think at the time, if social media and social media brand management roles and agencies were a thing 10 years ago, maybe I would have gone that direction, but it wasn't. It was just starting to become a thing. So I said, I think I'm going to go the safe route and try to find a really good paying corporate job, use my marketing degree from a great university that I went to. And this is, I can't even believe I'm about to admit this. I don't think I've ever admitted this to anyone else.
Oh, let's go. We got the hot tea right
Pay
now.
Attention,
This
everybody.
early in the episode. I love it.
So my corporate job, for 10 years, I actually recently just left my corporate marketing job. Thank you. Shimmy. Which is a whole other story that we'll probably get into later. Where was I going with this? Mom brain?
You said that you were going to give us something you've never told this story before.
Yes.
The tea. Spill the tea, girl.
So I was what we call in an audition drought in Los Angeles. I was living in Los Angeles. I lived in a 3-bedroom apartment with 4 of us. And I decided I wanted to live in the living room because it was cheaper rent. And I was making no money. I lived on a pull-out couch in the living room. There was no door. So I went to Joann Fabrics and I took like a burlap sheet and pinned it to the ceiling. You could see through it. There was no point. It was burlap. There was no privacy at all. But it was the time of our lives. I was 21, 22 years old. We were in an audition drought, which basically means there was no auditions going on, no jobs really available at the time. I don't know what was going on at the time. And I had a lot of time on my hands, so I was binge watching Grey's Anatomy for the first time. And I called up my mom after like season 8. I was like, Mom, I want to be in the OR. I was like, this is what I'm meant to do.
That's what motivated you.
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
That.
I did not disclose that in my job interview. I had a really great story. So I ended up getting a job in medical device marketing and surgical spine devices, and was there for 10 years. I was there for a long time.
Wow.
Not to bring you two back, it wasn't just Grey's Anatomy that influenced it, but that was kind of like the first thing that sparked the idea. But I have a whole family of nurses. My mom's a nurse. My dad's in, like biotech sales. And so a lot of medical world influence in my life. My grandmother's a nurse. Both my grandmothers were nurses, actually. So I think medicine and the medical world was always a topic at the dinner table. So I think there was a reason why I was interested in it, but it was Grey's Anatomy that really inspired me to go for it, you guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that brought me back to the East Coast for that job.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
what a journey.
What a story. I love that already.
Great.
It was a journey.
So would you say when you were growing up, right? Because in order to be like out in the limelight the way that you were between like LA, dancing, all these things, would you say, have you always been that way? Like, were you kind of the class clown growing up? Were you kind of the family talker that was always like, guys, look at me? You know, I only said because that was like me. Like, there wasn't a single Christmas where I wasn't demanding attention to show everyone my Michael Jackson moves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
I was
that.
always a performer. Always a performer. I don't think I was a class clown because I never.
I mean, you worked in a nowhere, so definitely not.
I never wanted to be in trouble. Like, I was very.
I never wanted to be in trouble either. I just always was.
Yeah,
I didn't like getting caught.
I would say loosely word trouble.
Yeah, like I don't know. I really liked school. I always really liked school. I never wanted to be in trouble. But in my family life and with my friend group, 100%. I was always making like silly videos with my cousin, who's basically my sister. Very Rhode Island. Like I have there's 7 of us and cousins, and we all went to school together. We would all go to my grandma's house after school. They were like siblings to me, and we would always make ridiculous videos together. I'm like, if TikTok was around when I was 15, we would have hit it off. Like, so always a performer. I love to dance. Yeah, but not a class clown, I wouldn't say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you do any acting or anything like that growing up?
No,
Were you in
I
theater?
never did theater.
But you just did dancing.
I always did dance. Growing up, I was very into swimming and I was very into dance, and both really competitive and time consuming. Fun fact, 2 Olympians were on my relay team when I was 10 years old.
Was it Elizabeth?
Elizabeth Beisel and Laura Sogar.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get Elizabeth on here for a little bit. We've been, tagging back and forth just because she travels a lot.
Yeah,
so.
she's so awesome.
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, North Kingstown really breeding them down there.
Yeah.
These A+ people.
Yeah, what could have been, guys, and then I quit at 10 to go dance. So they were both really time consuming, and my parents said, you got to choose one. So I chose dance, and that took up so much of my time. And really, in high school, I struggled my senior year trying to figure out, do I want to go to performing arts school? Do I want to go to college for dance? Do I want to move to LA or New York and skip college and do the performance thing? Or do I want to go to school? And I think my senior year of high school, I was so burnt out of dance. And I got into all of the, some of the most incredible performing arts schools and colleges and universities that I could have gone to. And I wanted the football games. Like, I wanted the college experience. Like, I wanted the smelly frat basement. Like, so I think like I always struggled with that of how am I going to, I always knew dance would be in my life somehow. I just didn't know in what capacity. Like if I wanted it to be my job or my joy. And I think now I'm at a unique point in my life where I really think it started after I had my kids. When you become a mom, you kind of like, you cut out all the bullshit. Pardon my language.
No, that's okay. You can speak freely here.
Yeah, perfect. So you cut it all out, and it really made me self-reflect and reevaluate pretty much everything in your life. And I think I got to the point where I wanted to dance again, and I wanted to do things that I loved again, and I wanted to make people laugh again. And that's why I started creating content and doing these really for my own personal joy, and something just stuck. And about 6 months ago, people started to take notice and enjoy it, and it's been a fun ride so far. Yeah.
Well, I will say, I think what's great about what you're doing is that there are so many momfluencers out there, as it's coined, and I think each mom has a very unique take on being a mom. And that's what's so great about that entire influencer category, because you're constantly learning and sharing information, giving inspiration. letting people know like realness about what's going on. And then in your sense, it's the bright side, and it's showing what your past can look like in your future, like you're dancing. And as a millennial dancer, I happen to think that you're doing a great job. And, you know,
I have your approval.
no one in Rhode Island's really giving me a run for my money. So I saw your page and I was like, holy crap, I have like 3 moves in the bag, and that's about it. So
my mom actually, I was cracking up. I was over her house yesterday, which isn't, they live 15 minutes from me, which honestly, thank God.
We like to say that is so New England.
So New England.
But more specifically, so Rhode Island.
So Rhode Island. You can't beat Rhode Island, but we'll get into that later. So I was over at my mom's house yesterday with the kids, and she was watching one video I just did making the baby bottles, and like I said it POV your family's bartender.
Oh, I love that one. That was fun.
It was fun. And she was like, I have a question for you. Do you know you make this stank face quite a bit? And I was like, oh, really?
Let's go!
I was like, really? So I went back and looked. I don't know what it comes over me. It's like just my natural.
It's the millennial.
My natural state.
Yep.
You just get into it.
Yeah.
It's mean mugging. That's what you're doing. It's mean mugging.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good one.
I'm like, it's just the music.
It
makes me do it.
Yeah.
It's that get crunk music.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. We're the only generation that truly had crunk. People don't understand. Like Lil Jon, Lil Scrappy, Yin Yang Twins, and the East Side Boys. Like, give me a break.
The movie.
Yes. What movie?
With Channing Tatum in it.
Oh, Step Up.
Step Up.
That's why.
Brilliant.
How many times did you go to see that movie and walk out and being like, well, I mean, you actually did it, but I was like, I can't dance for a lick. I would go in there and be like, I want to do that. Well, I'm going to fucking pop log and I'm dropping it.
It's so funny you say that, because I can't even tell you. This has been my entire life. I have always struggled with, what the heck do I want to do? Like, I still struggle with it. I'm like, all right, I'm in corporate marketing. I really like being good at my job. I was there for 10 years. Like, that's a big chunk of time at the same company. Yeah. And then at the same time, I'm like, but I miss performing. I'm such a performer. So it's always stuck between these two personalities. And I was always afraid to fully post on Instagram on my public account, because I know a lot of work people follow me. A lot of them know me, my true self, very good friends of mine. But then I'm like, okay, guys, like, I work with neurosurgeons. Like, I'm going into the operating room for spine surgery. Like, I don't know if I want to let out on my, like, show all my cards here on the public forum. So I always struggled with, like, those two sides of me. And to bring it back to your point about Step Up in the movies, every single performance movie or dance movie or Broadway show, I would always come home and be like, I can do that. Why am I not doing that? Like,
yeah.
I'll never forget. I think I was in my junior year of college at Wake Forest, and I came home. I think I was home for Christmas break, and the movie Burlesque with Christina Aguilera. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but
nope, never seen it.
It's very good.
Say it one more time. Who's in it?
Never seen it.
Cher's in it.
Who? Oh,
Cher, Christina Aguilera.
I'll have to look it up.
Yep, never.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't know.
HBO Max, maybe? Never seen it. Never heard of it.
Anyways, I went to the movie with my mom, and I'm looking at, and it's not like too racy of a movie. It's called Burlesque, but it's not very racy. And I was watching it. I'm like, Julianne Hough was one of the stars of it. I'm like,
right.
I want to do that. And meanwhile, I'm in like organic chemistry in college, and I came home and I go, I'm sorry, Dad, I think I'm going to move to LA and audition for dance movies. And he was like, okay, that's 3 years of really high tuition. Like, you have a lot of student loans going on. What do you think? Like, and it was just battle after battle of, nope, I'm going to do the safe route. I'm going to go the corporate route. I really like school. Nope, I want to be a performer. I want to make people smile. I want to make people laugh. And so now I'm at the point in my life where it's like, I'm trying to find ways to do both. And I think that's why I love content creation, because it's a combination of really everything. I shared with you before, I did internships at advertising agencies. It's like, okay, we're working with brands. We're doing kind of storytelling through music and movement. And it's really fun for me. So that's
always been my funnest part about the content creation part, is exactly what you're saying, because acting for me is something I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Having spent a lot of time on movie sets, it's not that fun, honestly. And what I enjoy about the content is I am the director, writer, producer, editor, actor. I wear all of the hats. That way it's just my creative control the whole time. And that's the ego that gets involved in it, where anytime I was doing background and I saw stuff, I'd be like,
yeah,
I don't think they should have done that. That doesn't make much sense.
100%.
And then, but you're just like, this guy's getting paid millions of dollars and he did what? That's not the move I would have done. And again, that's just a large ego and belief in myself. And now it's turned into podcast and the merchandise store. Thank you very much, Vin. Without him,
you're welcome.
Nothing I do would be possible with that kind of stuff. And it's been, just really cool. And I think that you're in that space too right now, where you're kind of crossing all of those paths. Although it sounds to me like you've already got it down. It's just now you're mixing in the motherhood part, which is really cool.
Which I to your earlier point about all these like mom influencers, and it is cool how you can go, there's so many of them. And I think it's an amazing career for a mother who also stays home with their kids. And I think I am now transitioning into that. Like, I was really excited, very nervous about making the decision to leave my corporate job. But, and I was more emotional making that decision than I thought I would be, especially because it wasn't like a job I was super passionate about, but it was like when you become a mom, you're just kind of like, you're expected to be that main caregiver of your kids. But in the mom space, I think there's a lot of mom influencers where you go to them for education or inspiration, or you go to them for mom hacks. I wouldn't say I'm going to be the mom you come to for mom hacks or like what's packing your kids' lunch. Like I will share that for sure. But I would say if I were to sum my content up into two things, it's entertainment and encouragement. And I say encouragement because there's so many, especially in the comedic side of the mom influencer worlds, where we're laughing together kind of in solidarity of like how freaking hard it is to be a mom. Like, it is the hardest job in the world. But I always say being a mom is equal parts job and joy. And I think I want to lean in more on the joy side of it, because there's so much fun you can have with your kids. Like, you kind of have the opportunity to be a kid again.
Right.
And
right.
That's kind of where I want to take my content of showing people, like, don't take yourself so seriously. Like, yes, it's a very serious job. It's a very serious role being a caregiver. But, like, it's basically giving you free reign to do whatever you want in terms of entertaining your family, your kids, yourself, and you enjoying it in turn. So I think that's where I feel like maybe people are finding some difference in my content, if that makes sense.
Well, it's very entertaining and very enjoyable. I mean, I'm obviously not a mom.
One thing I talk a lot about on my Instagram, is my main platform that I'm on right now, is there's a lot of time throughout this motherhood journey, and I've experienced it several times, you kind of feel like you're losing yourself a little bit, and trying to stay connected to who you were before kids can be a little bit hard sometimes. And I think that's where I love to share that there is a whole other opportunity that when you do have kids to rediscover that part of you and to find yourself again. And I say that because, again, you become a mom, you cut out a lot of BS in your life, and you become more specific with how you want to spend your time, more specific with who you want to spend your time with. And I think that's why when I was home with my kids and on my maternity leave, I was trying to find ways to stay positive, stay energetic, boost my mood. And it is hard to find the time to do the things that you love to do, but there's some things that you can do with your kids that in turn kill time before bath, but then you're also getting a laugh out of it. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity to find yourself again when you become a mom too.
This has been a pretty prevalent topic that for some reason I've been discussing. I've been married since July, so 6 months, 7 months.
Ooh, congrats. Newlyweds.
Yeah. So, kids are on the horizon. It's a topic of discussion. And I have some, female cousins in my life that, have children. So the conversation has kind of been about the millennial aspect of this, that we grew up in a time frame, as he mentioned, to piggyback off, is like, oh, you go to work, you get a job, you're loyal to them. That's kind of how life goes. And obviously it's very much not that. And then I've also stumbled upon this thought process of kind of how unfair society is to women on this sense, because the notion of, you know, being a stay-at-home mom and what that means and what that looks like and how it's not cookie cutter. There isn't one size fits all. Everyone has to do things very differently. But what I'm finding interesting about content creation is that it is kind of bridging the gap a little bit.
100%.
But you know, it's kind of unfair that it feels like it's a decision that women have to make. Like, okay, do I want to pursue my career or do I want to have a life with my kids?
Yep.
And I feel like content creator is kind of allowing that to shift, because now you're doing both, because you're, at least from what I'm gathering, is you are able to express all of your amazing talents and share them. You're also giving the joy of motherhood and what it's like as a first timer and how you're handling it and how you're leaning into the joy. And that type of stuff I think is incredibly important. And that's the type of stuff that I think social media is meant for. And I think that's the stuff that also elevates what the value of social media truly is. So I don't know. That didn't lead you anywhere. That was just me making a statement.
No, you led me somewhere, and I have a thought to contribute. No, you're exactly right. And I think I shared before, I found myself a lot more emotional making the decision to quit my job than I thought I would be. It's because I think if you follow me, you could probably tell on Instagram, I love being a mom. I have so much fun being a mom. Why was I so emotional about leaving a job that I really didn't even like that much? And I think it was that point of like the expectation.
Exactly.
And just societal expectation. I have a very supportive husband. I have a very supportive family. They support me in anything I want to do. It has nothing to do with their expectation. It's like that societal expectation where it kind of hit me. Like I was actually really excited about the thought of not going back to work. And then when I had the resignation call, I got off the phone and I was like, what the hell? Like, why am I feeling like this? But I think it's because I think that stay-at-home mom or not, a mother should have an identity outside of their kids.
100%.
And it does not have to be in the workplace. And I think for me, it's been this new journey of content creation of I really love doing this. And I love it for two reasons. I love it because it allows me to kind of fuel my creative passion. But the thing I love most about it, and which is why I had the confidence to really not go back to my corporate job, was the connection with the community we're building. Like I feel like I'm finally creating a community on social that I didn't have before. And it feels so good. So one thing I always say, I've made it, and it's probably in like 10 of my past videos. I always say my daily like motherhood mantra is we're all okay. And it's such a simple thing to say. I'm not a big mantra person. I'm not a meditation person at all. Like I can't meditate. I'm like too ADD for that. But I always say out loud, we're all okay. We're all okay. We're all okay. And okay is such a simple word, but everybody has a different definition of what okay means. And if you really think about it, like my okay is we're healthy, we're safe, we're supported, we're loved, like we're okay. It's a shit show right now, but we're okay.
Right.
We're going to make it through. And I think like saying that out loud has really helped me. And I started sharing that on Instagram. And I was so surprised at how many people reached out to me daily saying, we use that mantra now. Like, I'm not a mom and we just, foreclosed on a house. Like, and it really helps me get through it. Like, and it feels so good that I'm so excited to start or continue creating content that builds community. And I think before, when I was dabbling in Instagram, like on the side, it was really just for fun. It was truly like a side hustle. Like I didn't really know where my place was. I was a dancer for a while. I was a working mom for a while. Did the fitness trainer thing for a while. I was doing like workouts every day. Yeah. I was like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm jumping around all the time. But now for the first time, I really feel so strongly about a message I want to share and who I want to share it with. And it's really building a beautiful community. And I'm having a lot of fun doing it.
Oh, that's great.
You found your niche.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think everything that you did kind of collectively brought it together to be exactly what it is on your page now for this next part of your journey. At least that's what it sounds like. You have left me with so many questions in all of these conversations. So the first one I want to get back to is Step Up, great movie. But tonight, You Suck is mad because you just got served.
Oh,
You Got Served is my favorite.
so good.
That one for
So
me is the
good.
one that I was
I know
like.
the choreo.
I was gonna say, of course you know. I was gonna say that was the one where I was like in the kitchen. I had like the hat, and I was like,
So good.
my mom was like, "Do you want?
Omarion, right?
Yeah,
Was it-
do you want pasta or no?" And yeah, that's why I fell in love with Megan Good for the first time.
So good.
You know, so. Anyways, great movie. Second question I have: did you go to Wake Forest because it was the same colors as North Kingstown?
No, I didn't. I didn't even go to NK High.
Oh, that's true. You went to LaSalle.
Yeah, Rams.
Nah.
Rams.
Anyways,
I
no.
loved LaSalle.
Any Hoosiers.
But no, my question actually is, so being a Rhode Islander, being a New Englander, we don't do change well. We also, especially Rhode Island, we also have this notion, at least most people I've run into, where we don't like to, we think that we want to get away, then we end up coming back.
Always.
Right. So I wanted to know what the transition was like for you to go from Rhode Island and not URI or PC or any of the Rhode Island schools, Salve, Bristol, to go to Roger Williams and going down to like Wake Forest. What was that like transition from Rhode Island to where Wake Forest? I'm sorry.
North Carolina.
North Carolina, the
Demon
Carolinas.
Deacons.
Demon Deacons. Are
Yeah, I'm not a big college guy.
They've
Not
only-
only because I didn't go, but I also don't know where the hell anything is.
losers. I think so. Senior year high school, Emily was a very confused girl.
I was gonna say, who wasn't that junior and senior year? Oh my gosh!
I wasn't confused.
Very, yeah. You're.
I
that's
knew
awesome.
I knew where I was going to work.
Miss Green's office.
Oh, Miss Green, I forgot her name.
To give you an idea, I was almost going to go to Northeastern to study architecture. I was almost going to go to Fordham or NYU to do their Tisch and Fordham Ailey arts programs for dance. I was almost going to go to Wake Forest to be a physician's assistant.
Wow.
Okay, so I was confused.
But at least you were aspiring for a lot of really cool different things.
Yeah, well, I think I like to do a lot of things, and I think that's why I always struggled with what I really wanted to do for a career. Like, I really enjoyed all of those things.
Yeah.
So, and this is going to be a terrible answer to your question, but I shared with you before, I was burnt out with dance. I decided I didn't want to go to school for dance. I wanted the full-on college experience, like ACC, SEC, football games, tailgates. And my dad was like, okay, that's a pretty penny to go to a football game, honey. Like,
That's a lot of money to go get drunk, honey.
so I was like, no, I want to be a physician's assistant. Wake Forest has a fantastic program. I will go. And then I got my first D in chemistry and completely just changed that.
Oh yeah.
Just completely.
Hey, listen, G's
changed
get
it.
degrees. Said that in my last videos. It's passing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
that path is
shifted.
no joke.
We did not become. We did not stay pre-med at Wake Forest. So I went business and marketing route, but I loved North Carolina. I loved my experience at Wake Forest. I had such great friends. It was hard though. Like a lot of people, not a lot of New Englanders. I think a lot of Connecticut. No, you love Connecticut.
Oh, yeah.
A
We
lot
don't
of
say that word on this
Connecticut.
podcast, please.
A
Thank
lot
you
of
very much.
Connecticut at Wake, but there wasn't a ton of New England. So after college, like most of my friends, we were scattered across the country, which is a bummer. We don't get to see each other as much as we would love to. But yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes. What about LA? I mean, that's a culture shock compared
Yeah.
to New England, right? We've had a few LA people here, so I'm curious to see your perspective. Or excuse me, hear it.
Different. So I was in North Carolina for 4 years for college, moved out to LA to do the show, the dance show. I never really found my groove in LA. I liked it, but I was living a unique lifestyle of on a couch, just trying to make ends meet. Didn't really love it. Loved the warm weather, loved palm trees. Then I moved back east. I moved to New York City. I love New York City.
Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Really? It smells like the
I do.
dumpster down there.
You either love it or hate it. We lived there. I moved there mainly because my now husband was living there, and we lived there for about 6 years, I think. My son was born Brooklyn. I loved New York.
Where in Brooklyn?
He was born in Manhattan in the city, but we lived in Williamsburg. In
Oh,
Brooklyn.
okay. My cousin lived in Park Slope, so
Oh yeah, right there.
I'm always trying to find like ways. Oh,
the
Park
Bronx,
Slope,
New
Right
York.
there.
Park Slope. You know,
I loved it. I loved Brooklyn in particular. And then we had my son, and when we had kids, Rhode Islanders always come back.
You do.
They do.
You can't leave here permanently. It's not possible.
You can't. You really can't.
Literally, I want to go back to Florida so bad. And in the way, my strategy here to go back and live freely in Florida was to become the fucking New England guy. Yeah. How dumb is that? Like, I literally wanted to go back. I was like, let me make a content career out of solely based on New England. Yeah.
So good.
Nailed it. Yeah. I can't leave.
We used to joke with him and call him, like, you know how they do Pitbull?
Mr. Worldwide.
That's what we used to.
Mr. 401.
Now it's Mr. 401 and
Mr.
401.
So, and thankfully those stuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank God.
I always had my 401. I never got rid of my 401.
Never, right?
Never got rid of my 401.
I'm so proud of mine.
I never got rid of my Rhode Island driver's license either.
Ooh.
Same.
I always used my parents' address.
Yes.
So you didn't use your blinker in any other state?
No.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
No.
And this is why we were ranked the third worst drivers, right?
Well, that list is probably by people who are not from Rhode Island, don't know how to drive.
I just got flipped the bird for not using my blinker a couple days ago. I did. I swear to God. I was going to Dunkin'.
What kind of car was it?
Oh, God.
White BMW?
No, it wasn't.
I was going to say, because it's probably me.
I don't know.
Someone cut me off the other day without a blinker in the Dunkin' parking lot. So.
I was zoned out. I wasn't paying attention. But I was like, come on, man, it's not that serious. He was like, give me a full bird.
So, I think this is actually would be a really cool, interesting thing to hear, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah.
I would say if you were to give advice to another young man or woman who is similar to you, who doesn't really know where they want to go, or they're going through because I would say that you've gone through some pretty large transitions, like Rhode Island and North Carolina and LA.
We did Boston for a year.
You did Boston for a year?
We kept inching closer and closer. My husband, he's so great. I was at the same company for the 10 years, and I was lucky enough that I had some great managers that I worked for that let me work remote.
Nice.
Because we were based in Massachusetts, but I worked remote in New York. And my husband changed jobs like several times to get us closer to family, and so we landed in Boston. We lived in the Seaport for a year, and then didn't think we were going to be able to make it work in Rhode Island because he still works in Boston. He commutes 4 days a week to Boston, which commitment. But we always knew we wanted to somehow get back here because I grew up with my grandparents being so involved in my life. Like, I literally went to my grandma's house every day after school.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, and I wanted our parents, who both that still live up here. My husband's dad lives in Tennessee, but I wanted them to be a part of my kids' lives, and we were like, we have to figure out how to get back, and we did. We're back.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're back. Yep.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Yeah. It's good to be back.
So in the process of all of these really rough transitions that you've done in these undertakings in life, if there was like advice that you could give, or maybe some insight as to what kind of particular perseverance or grit or mindset you had that allowed you to kind of get through those things, or maybe just simple advice that you could give to someone that might feel similar to you, where they're like, I don't really know what I want to do. I've got a lot of different skills. I also have a lot of different aspirations. Is there something that comes to mind for you?
It's a good question. I'd say 2 things.
Ooh, okay.
I think, and this could be my answer for anything, honestly, like my family, I'm very blessed to have a very supportive family. So I always felt like through any transition or challenge or confusing time or anything, I always had them to talk to about it. And so I think lean on your support system. Doesn't need to be family, it could be friends, whatever it is, but find your support system to kind of help you talk through that. And then, very generic answer. But then my other thing is always find a way, if you're kind of going through the motions like I very much did in many different job paths I could have gone down, there was always a constant in that performance side of things. And again, never really knew what capacity I wanted it to be, but I always found an outlet to do it. So to keep it like a constant, like keep the fire going. For example, when I lived in New York City, again, same corporate job, moved to New York, didn't really know anybody there other than my husband. I was working from home in a 450 square foot apartment. Okay. And you had to take a ladder to get to the bedroom. Like, it was like a box of an apartment that I was working in alone all day, not knowing anybody.
$5,000 a month, I'm imagining.
It was insane. It was really quite ridiculous. We used to have to, because that was our 20s, we were like living it up late night in New York City. Yeah. Saturday nights we would sleep downstairs because it was a ladder to get to the bed. So we would like, you want to do a floor bed tonight? We're like, yeah, we'll do a floor bed tonight. So we didn't have to do the ladder at night. Where was I going with this? But when I was living there, I didn't know anybody. And I felt like I was, again, kind of losing myself, not really sure how I was going to get that creative outlet. So I started teaching group fitness classes, but only because it was a way for me to perform. Like if you're teaching like a high energy type of group fitness class, in my mind and in my head, it was my performance outlet. So it always kind of stayed constant. And then all of a sudden it just kind of clicked that, again, just cut out the BS, do what you love, and it'll come.
I love that. So
cool.
So essentially surrounding yourself with a really good support system for you was your family. Mm-hmm. And then always ensuring that you are true to whatever particular passion or first love you've always had can help you get through all the other things.
That's right.
That's a really good message. I like
That's
that.
Right. Thank
and
you.
also, if you can't climb a ladder at 4 a.m., sleep on the floor.
Duh.
Living room bed. I love that.
That was a long time ago. We went
Just
out.
to clarify. Well, you don't have a corporate job now. You can be honest with everyone. Guys, this was last weekend.
Things are going to get crazy. No, literally, I want to say 2-3 weeks ago, my husband and I, we went out with a couple of friends of ours, and it was like our first time out without kids in a long time. We went to a very early dinner. Okay, we went to a 5:30 p.m. dinner.
Sounds amazing.
We had a couple of drinks, and I haven't drinking since. Like I can't drink anymore. I can't hang. I cannot hang anymore. So there's no sleeping on the floor anymore these days.
Just sleeping in the car on the way home?
Unless my son has a stomach bug. We do a lot,
Yeah.
which he just recently did.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been sick.
You know
what
what
is your
else
go-to millennial song? Like if you like right now, right?
I
Like,
love T-Pain.
let's go.
I love T-Pain.
Okay,
You
so what
know
T-Pain
me.
song? It comes on right now. Like let's say hypothetically, Vin decides on his computer to
Okay.
put on a T-Pain song right now and hold
Okay.
the microphone up into
Okay.
it. What's the song?
Buy You a Drink.
Let's go.
I was
Buy You a Drink. Might have been the ringtone on my Envy flip phone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great.
That you had to play.
Oh my
just
God.
like
You know what
Corey.
was my other ringtone? Swear to God. Girl, shake that laugh it, taff it. The laugh it, taff it. Girl, shake that laugh it, taff it. I love it, taff it.
That's a
Great
jam
song.
right there. I love that song. That was great.
That's a vibe.
I love T-Pain.
T-Pain's
He's
the
very
best.
talented.
He is
really
literally
is.
the most talented. And this is why I have like a video queued up to do this. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll just copy and paste. But this is what I try to explain to people
Mm-hmm.
when they're like, yeah, but the 70s and 80s. I said, yes, amazing music. I said, but you don't understand. I had T-Pain, Pitbull, Nelly, Lil Jon, the
So
East Side.
good. I loved
All
Nelly.
of these people at the same exact time. It was
Nelly
impossible
was
to not
iconic.
enjoy it. Like now 5 to like now 25 is like, it should be in the history books.
I know.
Absolute
The
smacks.
best songs ever.
Hot in Here,
So
Nelly.
good.
Oh, there's so
I
many.
think my bugging big.
There's so many.
So many.
We could do this for
we
hours.
could. I could literally do.
Well,
this
it was that. It
for
was
us.
still that concept where music was good lyrically and the beat was good. Now it's either or. You don't get both.
No, you don't. And there's not a lot of good. I'm probably gonna get canceled for this. There's not a lot of good like bands anymore.
It's tough.
I made a statement about that the other day because I feel like I think music is kind of in a lull right now.
Yeah.
Because usually what happened in our demographic, like in our age group, was like every 3 to 4 years it shifted. It was like
right.
it was kind of like house music or more like disco-ish
Yep.
house music kind of like started.
Yep.
And then it became like rap, but then it was like street rap. And
I
then it was
know.
R&B. Then it was hip hop. Then it was
know.
alternative. Then it was heavy metal. And then it went back to like that cross between EDM and pop where it
Yep.
was like Rihanna hit the streets and it was like
Yep.
she was singing and dancing like R&B hip hop, but the background
I know.
beat was like Avicii and you're like, what? This is
I
crazy.
know.
And you're
I
in the
do
club
love
like,
an oldie
whoa.
though. Like I love the 70s, love
Oh,
the
yeah.
80s. If you go on my Instagram, like a lot of the music I choose to dance to is like people will be like, you are not from this era. Like what? But it's I grew up with my mom listening to that music. My mom would listen to all that music, like that disco music.
Oh, yeah.
And then my dad was like all the rock and roll.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so
But that stuff was
Give me
good,
ABBA all day
great
long.
then
So
and
good.
still good now.
it is.
Yeah, it's-
it
it
is.
just
I think
is.
I think what I always like to say about that music is that is the most talented music, like musical era. And I say that because the 90s is more about getting the technology forward with like
Yep.
beats and lyrics, whereas instruments had to come
Totally.
together. The organization of people to like work in a band, which, you know, how many stories do we hear about how they blew up and fell apart
Yep.
because the egos, but it was like, that was like, as
So
far
good.
as like traditional and honoring what music is, which is instruments and voices and talents, 70s and 80s was definitely the best.
So good. I saw AC/DC live.
Oof. They're coming to
Which-
Gillette this summer.
Get out.
I believe so, right? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Is it AC? Yeah.
I might need to go to that. That was a very cool experience. I think because like also nostalgia with like my dad, like
Right.
listen to that. I don't know, nostalgia is a powerful thing. I always say this on my Instagram too, like people, because I do this thing. I don't know if you've seen it every morning, like my daily hype up. I say this probably won't appeal to you both, but there's the three things to a magic recipe to hype up your day, especially as a mom of 3 kids under 3. Dunkin'. I left mine in the car.
I'm out of ice.
I know. I probably have 3. I probably have 3 of those lukewarm, no ice in my car right now. I swear to God. I swear, it's a problem. It's my husband's pet peeve.
That's why they're in the car.
Dunkin', lipstick. You should try it sometime.
Dunkin' lipstick.
And good music, a good song. And I do one song every day.
Dunkin', does chapstick count?
That counts.
My man's got the chapstick lips on earth
That
right here.
counts. Try it. Get in your car in the morning. Get your
You
iced
could have
coffee.
said most kissable, you jerk.
They are the most kissable.
But yeah, music. But my point of nostalgia,
Yeah.
a lot of the songs that I've been doing lately, like you listen to music, it brings you back to a certain time of your life.
Right.
So I've noticed that a lot of the songs I've been putting on are like from college days.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't know if I'm just been like in like the funk of like feeling just crazy with the young kids at home. I was like, I want to be transported to the frat basement. Like, so I'm like, I'm putting on a Fiji, and it brings you back. Like, And I
Yes.
think the coolest thing. So not to like take us off on too big of a tangent, but
Go for it.
it's gonna be a big tangent.
Go for it.
During COVID, when my husband and I were in New York, we weren't married yet. We got married in 2020. We left New York, packed for 2 weeks, and moved in with my 85-year-old grandparents in Narragansett. And we moved in. We ended up staying for a year and a half. We lived with them, and it was
I swear that's always the story.
Yeah.
2 months, 6 months,
Yes.
4 years.
and that year and a half, as sad and hard as that time was in the world, it was a really amazing experience to spend that time with my grandparents. And one of the
that's
things we
wonderful.
would do is when we would have dinner together, it would literally be at like 4:45 p.m. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
But that was good, because it has practice for where you are now, which is 5:30 dinners.
Exactly. So 4:45 p.m. and I would play music from my grandparents' time while we would make dinner. And they never did that before, but to see them like go back, be transported back to those times, like the stories they shared with me about like the concerts they would go to when they were kids, and like the stories they would talk about like when they would listen to that music. That's so cool to me. That's why I love
fun.
music
That's so cool.
and nostalgic music because it really does bring you back.
That's such a beautiful story.
Yeah,
I mean,
I love that.
I unfortunately didn't have grandparents. So, you know, I have my wife's grandparents now,
Yeah.
and they've kind of, you know, adopted me as their own,
Yep.
which I love and really cute, but I've never had that. And I think that's such like a cute thing, but it does
Yeah.
lead me to wonder now. Here's another question.
Okay.
What is the best time period for dance?
Oh man.
Little
Oh my
jive,
God.
little swing dance.
Disco.
Disco, yeah.
Hey. I love it. I was
know.
born in the wrong era. I'm telling you. I would love to go to like a real disco. Give me the big hair. Give me the. You guys are like, what are you talking about?
Not,
I'm like,
so is Saturday Night Fever the best dance movie ever, or
so
what?
good.
Lost me
It's
at
so
hair.
good. I don't know what the best dance movie. I don't know what the best dance movie is.
I mean, we said already the Step Up and the.
You know
Got
what's
Served,
like
but-
my probably classic go to? I don't know if you've seen it. Center Stage.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Phenomenal.
All right, add it to my list.
It's phenomenal. Not really. You're not gonna get hip hop vibes on there. It's more like ballet.
Oh yeah, I can't do the ballet thing. I don't.
No, I don't
I've
know.
got 2 left feet,
No,
and I'm very top heavy, so it's,
It's a
lot to
story of a
balance up there.
ballerina who becomes a rebel, and it's really good.
So like Black Swan.
Not as dark as Black Swan.
Oh, okay. I
Not
saw
as
that
dark.
one.
Not as dark.
Swan
Center
is
Stage.
quite scary.
Classic. Good music in it though. There's Chili
Yeah.
Peppers, Red Hot Chili Peppers in
Yeah.
that music.
love that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand how something that I shouldn't say it like that. One of the things that I learned about music in the last like 3 years is how it makes me feel, which is really weird. So I'll listen to music and it makes me feel a certain way, and I like listen to it specifically for that. And I think outside of the concept of like the anime, like the EDM concept or whatever, I love Tones and I, the band or the singer. Her music,
dance for me.
All the rest of her.
That one,
I mean,
right?
Dance Monkey's really good. Don't get me wrong.
That's the only one I know.
All the rest of them,
I think that's the only one I know too.
there's quite a few.
There you go.
She
Look
makes,
at you.
She makes one.
Look at you. You little cute indie artist. You
So
love your little.
interesting.
Your little
blew up,
like,
bro.
Your
She's-
little like getting the feels music.
She just not like a feels thing. It just makes me kind of sit
Like
there. And I'm
vibey.
like, I can just. This is gonna sound really weird. I can feel her emotion through the song, and that's how I know it's good music.
100%.
Because like there's music that I listen to where I'm like vibing out. Like my golf playlist is just straight vibes. It's a mixture of absolutely everything
Golf
in the world.
playlist.
You would think it was Slipknot and Lamb of God in the way he throws those clubs.
This is why you really gotta mute him when I'm trying to get some spotlight. You make me do that.
This is what music is all about. I love this right now. I love that
Yeah,
you're in
no.
your field.
I could talk about music literally all day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and
this
like,
is great.
and that's what, and I think that's why the, like I said, the songs without lyrics or the ones where I can't understand them because I'm so much listening to the music.
100%.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard, this has been like my go-to song lately, and I've never heard of the artist, but have you ever heard the song Pizza Guy by Touch Sensitive?
Mm-mm.
Vibe.
I'm gonna download though.
You have to send me that.
It's so good. I don't even think there are
I'll have to put you on
lyrics.
to all the DJs that I follow that come up with all the mixes that I do.
Yes,
that you
they're
can
so good.
They're fucking awesome.
They're
and
so
I've made
good.
such good relationships with those guys now that I'm like, yo, make this kind of playlist
They're
for me.
so
and I'll help
good.
put it out there.
They're so good. I could talk about, well, especially with dance, like
Yeah.
I'm so specific with music
You gotta
because
be.
yeah, and like sometimes I still teach dance classes here and there, and that's like one of the things I love most about it is finding the music. And I love to find a song that nobody like, or it's not like mainstream. Like I love finding the cool remixes, or it's fun. It's fun for me.
Yeah.
I have no musical ability outside of rhythm.
yeah.
No, seriously, none. That's one of the reasons why I didn't go, like when I was deciding between LA and New York for dance. If I could do it all over again, I would have gone to New York. New York is Broadway, more theatrical, theater, like technical dance. LA is like music videos, touring, J-Lo. I don't know if that was where I belong.
Straight from the block.
Yeah. And
is indeed not from
Broadway.
the block.
But the only reason I didn't do New York was my biggest fear in the world is singing in front of people. I could dance in front of as many
Go-to
people. or
karaoke
as-
song.
Oh my God.
And you have to sing it right now.
Oh my God.
Can you take me higher?
Oh, Creed. So good. So good. I'm bad at this.
I'm only teasing. You don't have to actually do
It's
that. I'm
funny
just
how
busting your chops.
when you we have a friend, his name's Justin. We've talked about him a few times on the podcast. He's a karaoke machine.
Literally.
And he's the best because he genuinely does not care. He's all about
That's
like if
amazing.
you're like the 4 or 5 people with him, that's why he's going up there.
Mm.
And then but he's number one on top because he has such a fun personality.
Yeah.
And he's so good at it. He
Well, see,
really
that's the thing.
is.
I do like karaoke. I'll tell you why. Worst fear singing when you need to be like good in front of someone. Like if
Yeah.
I'm going to an audition for Broadway, I have no training. It just, I don't know. Maybe I'd be good. I don't know. I would have never even tried it. It's like really, I get very afraid of it. Karaoke, you give me a microphone, like something happens. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's really fun to do things when you're trying not to be serious. That's why a lot of my dance videos, they have like a humorous undertone.
Of course.
If you've ever watched them.
Yes.
Because I'm not like being
If I've
super.
ever watched them, of course I have.
Like I'm not trying to be super serious and like give
Yeah.
a performance of a lifetime. Like I'm just trying to have fun.
I'm right there
But I
with you.
think
You know how
that's-
much my wife yells at me for putting my feet on the fridge? She's like, if I have to clean off one more of your toe prints because you're twerking on the internet, Ian,
Yeah.
you're 33. All right. Let's get into the nitty gritty of New England. If you could dance to one New England song, what would it be?
Man, what are New England? I know like Dropkick Murphys.
I feel like that's really the only answer, if I'm being honest. Like, 'cause I don't-
I'm like, wait,
I
let
was
me
hoping
think about
maybe
this.
you knew more. I don't really know.
Let me think about this. Hold
There's
on.
Noah Khan. There's Dropkick Murphys.
Oh, Noah Khan.
Yes.
Noah Khan.
Yes.
Okay, Noah Khan. Backstory. My son, he's two and a half, loves Noah Khan. Like will request Noah Khan in the car, so much to the point where he wanted to be Noah Khan for Halloween. And one may ask, how do you dress up as Noah Khan for Halloween? I made him the Fenway overalls.
Oh my gosh.
And so they're the white overalls. I painted all the area codes on the back. They're really awesome. I gotta show you a picture. And we did a little video, and Noah Khan reposted him on his TikTok.
That's so
I
cool.
love that.
Yeah.
One question we like to ask everybody
Yep.
is, of the 6 beautiful New England states,
5.5.
if you could, amen to that, if you could add an additional state to New England, which one would it be? Also, we do allow for outliers if you want to bring in a whole nother country or a
Okay.
continent that isn't in the U.S. But
Okay.
wherever you've been, if you could bring one of them in, which one would it be?
Okay. I'm not gonna do another state. I'm gonna say Aruba.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you why. That's New England outside of New England. Like if you
I'm going to Aruba March 5th for the first time in my life.
oh my gosh, you're
I'm
gonna
so
fit in so great. You, you literally go, and there's Pats jerseys everywhere. Like a lot of Connecticut though. A lot of Connecticut.
No, I'm not
But
going.
I think
I'm not fucking going.
Aruba is the New England of the Caribbean.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
would
like
say
that.
so.
Well, I'm going and I'm
Wow.
excited. I can't wait to do
You're
it.
gonna love it.
That is going to get us so much clickbait.
It is.
Just how you said that, and then we're
Aruba.
going to put it back. Wow. I
It is.
can't wait to answer these
No,
comments.
seriously, my grandfather, no, my my great grandfather retired there. So
Wow.
we haven't gone in a few years, but we used to go every single year, like for New Year's. We haven't gone in a while, but it's truly all New England.
I can't wait. I'm super
You're
excited.
gonna love it. I love it. Oh, I have so many recommendations for you.
Oh, then we'll have to chit chat after
yes,
this.
we will.
Okay. Are you a sports gal? I mean, you got
Yeah.
the Bruins hat. Okay, so can you rank New England sports teams in order?
By preference. Okay.
However you prefer.
we'll get-
Preference, favorite.
I'm gonna go the Pats. We gotta go to the Patriots.
The Pats.
My dad might kill me if I didn't say that.
Numero uno.
Yes, the Pats. I'm gonna say the Bruins, number 2. I love going to a Bruins game.
Just went the other day. A lot of fun.
It's so fun.
And your husband is a former hockey player. So
Husband's a former hockey
You got to think for
player.
the hockey.
I don't know. Like I become a different person at a Bruins game. I'm like
You have
in it.
to.
I'm swearing. I never swear.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like you're either, like, you can love the Bruins and the Celtics, as
Yeah.
I do, but you are either a Bruins TD Garden person or a
Or a
Celtics.
Celtics.
Because it's two very different
Very
people.
different.
Yeah.
Very
It
different.
is a different vibe.
I would go Pats, Patriots, Bruins. I love a Bruins game. I become a different person at a Bruins game.
Love that.
We're gonna do Celtics, the Sox. You know what I'm gonna throw in there? PC basketball.
Oh, wow.
Get
Throwing in
after
the
it.
Friars
I'm
there.
gonna throw in the Friars.
Go ahead.
All right.
I grew up going to the Friars game with my grandparents. They had season tickets.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. I went to the Friars game against Georgetown the other day.
Oh, awesome.
And they were all screaming, F Ed Cooley.
That's
so
nice.
they were pretty pissed.
I do.
It was
I
a good
love
game,
the-
and they won.
I haven't been in a long time,
Yeah.
but
It
I
was
do.
really-
Those
a
are
good
fun.
vibe.
Good,
Yeah.
good vibes. But Pat's number 1.
Yeah.
My dad, he's a diehard fan. He gets like so much. His
Sounds like a great guy.
His basement, the gym basement, is a lot of memorabilia down there. To the point where one of his buddies does have seasons tickets to the games. My dad does not, but my dad's buddy gives him the boxes they come in.
That's
I love that. What's your dad's name?
Kurt.
Kurt gets it. I
Kurt.
like Kurt. Me and him got to go to a Patriots game.
Kurt. My mom. He got for his 40th
What?
birthday.
I can't bring Kurt to a Patriots
Kurt
game?
would love to go. He's a fun time.
I'll take him.
He's a fun time.
We get field access. It's a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, can I come?
Yes, 100%.
Forget my dad. No, he can go too.
fuck?
He got for his 40th birthday a signed Brady ball,
Ooh.
and it says "Happy Birthday." You're gonna love this story. It says "Happy Birthday, Happy 40th, Kurt, Tom Brady," and he spelt Kurt with a K, and my dad's name is with a C.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
What?
just go legally change your name to Kurt with a K.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can do in that situation to
Yeah.
make it right.
He's like,
because
I am
Tom's
now
not
Kurt
wrong
K.
there.
No, he's never wrong.
No.
He's
Never been wrong.
He looks good too.
This is the energy we need.
No.
Yes, this is what we need right here.
Yeah.
Gianna
Although that-
didn't like
I know. I saw that.
Yeah, that one broke my heart.
We're
so.
so mad at you about that, John. And we know you're watching.
All right, how about New England foods? Are you a foodie? You a New England foodie? Or
Yeah.
you, okay.
I wouldn't say foodie. I'm pretty basic eater.
Okay.
New England food. Okay, I thought about this one too.
Oh, I love that.
I came
Okay.
prepared. I was gonna go clam cake,
Ooh, all right.
but I'm going a cheeseburger Newport Creamery way on the toast.
Wow. What a throwback. We used to have a Newport Creamery in Wesley when we were growing up, and then it closed. So I only had that a few times. That
the
was
Creamery
awful,
way,
awful.
ladies and gents, on the toast.
Oh my God.
We go there quite a bit with my son. Very kid friendly.
I'm hungry
and it's
now.
down the road from us.
That sounds really good right now.
Yeah, I always think that's
it's
a
right
New
in Garden
England
City.
staple.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Newport Creamery is only in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
in New England. Wow, that is a great.
Very specific.
It's a great answer.
It's a great answer. I feel like
That
Vince
is
will find a good picture of that.
That is a
Yeah.
top 32 answer right there.
All right, so where do you see this currently going with your career trajectory? Do you have any like specific like goals or aspirations or something where you're like, this is what I'm hoping to accomplish and where I'm trying to take my career currently?
Yeah, I'm really excited to continue building this community on Instagram. Outside of the fun content, keep it coming. That's how we build a community. But I really would love to find different ways to connect with people, whether it is a podcast. As you can tell, I really like to talk. I really want to write a children's book. I
love that.
Yeah,
Sick.
I have a couple ideas. I'm manifesting it. This is the first time I'm saying it out loud.
Yes, let's
a lot
do
of
it.
firsts on
Gotta
this
say it
podcast.
out loud.
I would really love to write a children's book. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, so we'll see where it goes.
Millennial mom?
If it helps when you do
I'm
write
gonna buy
it and
you
you
a
publish
milk.
it.
Ooh, wee, you. Oh, I was going to get, okay. Yeah, I had some ideas there, but I'm glad I stopped. It was
I
not
thought
gonna
it
be-
was good. I was
No,
with
it's
it.
just like, like sometimes things come to your head and you're like, this is good. And then like very quickly my brain's like, don't
no.
say that out loud. So
I was gonna say it's perfect for the reading level of this show, so we'll read it. That's where I was going with it.
Perfect.
awesome. And
Oh, I love it.
where can everybody find you online?
Yeah. Right now, my main platform I'm on is Instagram. It's my username is Emily Scott James. It's my full name. And hopefully I'll get my TikTok back eventually. And hopefully maybe think of some YouTube shorts eventually. But really right now, Instagram.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, congratulations on all of your success. This has been so
Thank you
great
so
getting to chat with you.
much. So fun.
And if I'm being honest, I'm going to put you on the spot here because it's on the I feel like there's going to be a dance collab in our future.
Oh.
I'm just putting it out there.
Just say when. Are you kidding me?
I was
And it's
gonna
going to be
say,
to buy you
you
a drink.
better get
It's going to
ready.
be this leads us into buy you a
I
drink.
literally can't wait.
You better get ready.
Emily, thank you so much for your time tonight. We really appreciate you coming on the So New England Pod.
Thank you guys. I had so much fun.
Awesome. All right, folks, that is going to complete episode 32 of the So New England podcast. And remember, folks, life's better in New England.